Welcome to Conversations with King. I'm just so happy to be here on a Sunday. Happy Mother's Day once again to those who have entered into the room. Today is a very dope topic because today's topic is about, like we always talk about relationships, but it's also about something breaking down the myths of why Black men are actually talking to women outside their race. And I'm going to actually focus on me today in regards to exploring love, exploring relationships, and exploring marriage outside of my race and my community. The topic today was a little bit funny because it's called Why I Attract White, Asian, Latin, Nubian Queens. And to be honest with you, I said that because, it's a joke on the fact that I love women outside my race who value Black men. I'm not dealing with or entertaining any woman that just having me on their conquest or their bucket list. So as more people come into the room, because we're up to like 15, 20 right now, we usually get like 60, 80, but it's a Sunday, people with their moms and their mothers and the ladies in their life. But I want to talk about this topic today because it's super, super important that we dispel some myths. Also, with that being said, this topic was derived from me reading an article or something published on essence.com. And I'm going to bring up some slides in regards to what they said. And also, what I do, I like to bring facts. I have charts and graphs proving why people date outside their race and what are the reasons why. But today, too, I have a friend of mine. I've been knowing her for close to, I would say, over a decade. I've known her since over a decade. She is beautiful. Latin, she's white, she's educated. I believe 2-3 degrees. Put 2 fingers or 3 fingers. You got 2 or 3 degrees. 2. She got 2 degrees, her own business, her own restaurant. She is a mother. So she's been my friend for over a decade, and she is a person that dates Black men who has fallen in love with Black men, and she definitely has an opinion on this matter. And I think that it's going to be well received because she's not like me. She's not going to come all spicy and rude. She's going to come from like I said, an educated background and a nurturing background to explain why people might think it's wrong. And remember, we are not coming from a place of saying that every Black woman feels like this, every Black man feels like this, every white woman feels like this, every Latin woman feels like this, any Asian. We're just talking about what we read, what we experienced, and what we observed through our short existence on this earth. And hopefully through our dialogue, we can actually help people from feeling insecurities of dating outside of race, or figure out, do we even care if people date outside their race? It doesn't even matter. With that being said, I want to say shout out to Love Nutra. Thank you. Can you see that, what they be writing? You see what they be writing? They so nice. Thank you, Nitra. I appreciate you. So I'm going to bring her up. We're going to call her B, Queen B. We're going to say thank you for coming up. You're up now. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up? What's up?
Good to be here on a Sunday.
Good to be here on a Sunday. I know I called you last minute, and I said I need you to do this show with me real quick because I wanted them to have another opinion on what dating outside your race might be. How does it feel? And maybe you can answer why you might date men outside of your race. And when we say race, we're talking about the exclusion of socioeconomic background or status, the exclusion of cultural beliefs. We're just talking about race. And shout out to Loverboy Linsky. He definitely gives you, she's a ladies man. He always says hi to the ladies and stuff. All right. So with that being said, let's start it off. And I hope you're ready for the questions I'm going to have. It's really, really spicy. It's going to be a really short but dope conversation. And it might get a little too honest, but that's what we welcome here, right? All right. So let me start off with this. The Essence article, they gave the top reasons why Black men date outside of their race. But before we talk about that, give a background on yourself and your experiences dating outside of your race.
Okay, so I am Latina and white, but most notably, people look and they think, "Oh, she's a white woman." So I grew up in a very diverse family. We had men that were brown. We had men that were really, really white. So I grew up seeing people who dated all different shades because I grew up in a multicultural family. So for me, it was never an issue, right? I never envisioned myself being with one type of man, whether he be white or Latino or black. For me, it was just about finding the right kind of man after I found myself, right? So my first order of business, because of the woman that I was raised as a product of, was to become really, really focused and rooted in my community,
Right.
educationally,
Right.
business wise, and to ensure that I always held tight to my family values.
Okay.
So for me, it's more about finding a man who mirrors that than anything else. Now, with that being said, my preference is Black men and Latino men.
Right. Why is that? Why has that became your preference?
Culturally, it's just a better fit. You know, we're going to like the same foods. We're going to like the same art, music. We're going to probably like to travel to the same destinations.
Right.
I would say spiritually, we're probably going to mirror one another.
Right. Is it because they say Black men tend to like curvaceous women? They don't know how you look because you're sitting down, but you're very curvaceous, right? Is that a reason? Because when it comes to body size and body shape, white men tend to go for women who are a little bit petite, right?
This is absolutely true. It was, for me, it was just an attraction thing. I was never really attracted to white men.
Right.
And I think for men, the type of men that approach me typically, because of the way my body is shaped, it was Black men and Latino men, but typically like darker Latinos. So even light Latinos, like light Puerto Ricans, tended not to like me because I was fat, right?
Right. Let me ask you a question. You are in rooms that a lot of people don't have access to, and there's a lot of Black men in those rooms per se. So you tend to date. Usually people tend to date people they work around. So you're not around a lot of Black men because you really work 24/7. So how do you get? So you're just saying that the top Black men always approach you?
So what I've done though is I've positioned myself to be around high achieving Black men. So I'm on a nonprofit that is focused on helping young Black boys get into STEM careers. So by nature of where I volunteer and where I spend my time, I do put myself, and I'm also in an area now that is, I'm in the South now. So it's a bit different. There are a lot more high achieving, super qualified Black men where I am.
Right. But they have options though. They have options because they're high achieving and they have options of having Black women. So why do they come to you besides the obvious? I know why, but why are they moving towards you?
I mean, I think that I meet the qualifications that and the standards that they've set for themselves, right? Because I'm in certain rooms, to your point, right? The nonprofit work that I do, where I've gone to school, the multiple master's degrees. So they have these standards, and then they look in a room and say, like, a lot of white women don't look the way I look, right? So naturally, even if they, if they do want a white woman, they probably still want some of the attributes of like the more curviness. And so if they can, men are funny, men want everything. They want you to have the multiple degrees, to be sexual, to be high achieving. Women, we have a lot of pressure. I think really it comes down to you just being in close proximity to those men and being sort of what they like.
Right. Okay. So now we're really going to get into the subject matter at hand, and I want you to jump in and let me know if you agree with anything that's being said or not being said. And you can read the comments. It gets spicy. You can also I think you can comment back. I'm not sure. But they're very, everybody, most people are polite, and I put it on. I put a certain thing where we won't have trolls. We usually have trolls that jump in the room and say crazy things, but today it's not going to happen. So let me go to the slide. So let's start with the first one. And remember, this was actually sourced from the essence.com. So you can actually go and find this on essence.com. So the first one is, this is the reasons why they asked a group of Black men, single Black men, why they date women outside of race. They gave 7 reasons. And these 7 reasons are the reasons we're going to discuss today, but we're going to do it with a little twist. All right. The first reason was we don't seem as fun. Unfortunately, Black women often have so many things we are trying to juggle that it can sometimes become second nature to not smile or take a moment to say hello. Fun can take a backseat when we're fighting to pay bills, continue our education, and make a name for ourselves. Because of this, some Black men believe that women of other races maintain a more light, airy, fun girl approach to love in their adult years, which they ultimately find more attractive. They feel that after a while, our focus shifts from being the fun girlfriend to being more practical instead of solely concerned with ensuring the house is clean, meals are made, and children are taken care of. Those things are most important, of course, but remember that relationships need full-time nurturing and maintenance too. Now, that was a mouthful. Do you believe, there's a question, do you believe that women outside of the Black race are a little bit more friendlier and fun when it comes to dating men in the adulthood? And we're not talking about all, because we know you have friends from all walks of life and you chill with them. I know for a fact your best friends are Black, right? What do you believe at the level that you want? And they give reasons why, like why should Black women be open? Because I got bills to pay, I got these responsibilities. So if you're not coming correct, I don't want to talk to you. And your thing, you go through the same thing every other woman goes through, but you still always smile and you are friendly. So once again, do you believe that's true?
I think it's for me, it's cultural. So Latinas, we're taught to be friendly, right? Not, and I don't mean sexually, right? But I mean just you're taught to be friendly. And if you're in a room with a man, you know, to say hello, speak. And also too, I think because of there are a lot of disparities, right? There are studies on this. If a woman has to break her back to provide, she might not be as friendly or as welcoming because she's going to be on guard. Maybe she's made, you know, things have happened, so she's on guard. And she's like, you know what? She's got all these standards. She needs to make sure somebody's going to help her alleviate her burdens, right?
Right.
And if a Black woman hasn't had access to certain opportunities, this is where your friends matter, right?
Right. Let me ask you a question. Anitra says, nah, you are taught to keep your game face. So she's saying, I think she's saying that Latinas feel the same way, but y'all know how to keep your game face. Is that true? And remember, we're not talking about all Latinas. Right? Is that, can you say that's culturally true?
Absolutely. Yep.
Preach, Brother Lucy. Okay, it's true. So can I suggest that I don't want to say Black women should keep their game face, but I know for me, it's easier for me to approach a white, Asian, and Latina girl when I'm outside. Everybody knows I go outside a lot. I party a lot. I go to museums. I go to movies. But it's easy for me to approach. I get this no nonsense. I don't want to talk to you unless you're ready for marriage. And when I walk up to a white, Asian, Latino girl, I'm just here for the moment. I'm just having fun right now. We're here now. What's up? What's your name? What are you doing? Let's get a drink. Let's talk. Let's dance. And bye. I'm going home. You go home. Right? So that's what I get. But, B said, it's not the case. It's just culturally, people are trained to be friendlier and have less of a war. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because you're taught that you get more with honey than with vinegar, right? This is sort of a simple premise. So if you want to attract a man or secure a man, you got to be friendly. You got to be open. The thing is, you really have to be, to your point, you have to be outside.
Right. You have to be outside. There you go. Go ahead.
And you need to be in the right rooms.
Right.
You really have, that is the key to all of this, whether it's your business life, your personal life, whatever, you have to be in the right rooms. Figure out what your end game is. So for a woman, if it's marriage, work backwards. But you got to get in the rooms where the men that are your target, where they are, and just be open.
Right. So that's funny because the places I go, I usually I'm around white, Asian, Latinas. The places I go to, right? And maybe that's why it seems like I only attract them, right? And I might love Black women, right? But I only attract those because those are what are around me, right? Okay, it gets spicier, so people get ready. The questions are gonna get spicier. Number 2, it says, we look like we can't be bothered. we heard men tell us that Black women often come across as if we don't want to be bothered when we are out and about in public. Whether in a store or leaving the office, we often appear more focused on what's ahead or the next stop and not on meeting someone new. This is the absolute truth, at least for me it is. The reason why I say that is because I would walk past a Black woman and I would tell her, "You're beautiful. I love your hair." Pew. When I say that to any other race, at least where I'm from, New York is very tough. But when I say that, they stop and say thank you, eye contact, right? And I get it. I get it. You've probably been harassed the whole morning since you woke up. You've probably been harassed since you were 18 years old, men trying to talk to you. But you could still say, thank you. But I'm not a woman, so I don't know what they're going through when I say you look beautiful. Maybe they might be going through certain things. I don't know. But you let me know. When a Black man says, "You're beautiful, B," or he says, "I love your outfit," how do you respond back?
Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I mean, but I can understand when women just keep it pushing because especially at this age, you get to a certain age, you get tired of the bullshit, right? Like you're just like, I'm done. I don't even want to be bothered. But that's where, if you can't walk around with a chip on your shoulder, none of us, right? We've all been through things in relationships that haven't gone our way or somebody did us dirty. I believe resiliency is key. You have to get yourself back up and be open. Just be nice, be friendly. You got to kiss a lot of frogs before you find your prince.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. I'm telling you, this is going to be a dope conversation. Let's go to the next one. It says, we don't offer enough support. Is there some truth to the perception that some of us can overlook a Black man or not be as uplifting because instead we think that they need to have already arrived before we give them a chance? Some brothers seriously think so and feel they've seen evidence of it early on within relationships. They often say that they feel more supported by women of other ethnicities earlier in their careers and during their college years. Woof. Let me tell you about this. My first experience with a white woman, Asian woman, and Black woman. No, not a Latina woman, because Latina woman, I was in New York. But my first experience was in college. And I think that for me, college and grad school, and even professionally, women outside of my race or ethnicity have been a little bit more supportive of helping me achieve my goal. When they saw me and I didn't have, they provided guidance, suggestions, and probably some financial support. While women of my ethnicity are like, "Man, you better come with it. I'm not talking to you unless you have it." Now, what is your experience, B?
I have friends who are definitely of that mindset, and it's tough. It's okay to have expectations and to feel like a man should be X, Y, and Z, provided you are also offering what you are expecting. The other thing is that, again, culturally, we're raised to be supportive, right? So Latinos are typically raised to be very supportive of men and their ambitions and dreams. It's what you're taught.
And just also, it's like, I think me dealing with women outside of my ethnicity and race, and like I said, I love Black women, but I feel like the women I've dealt in the circles I've been outside of being Black have been more receptive of me trying to figure things out and say, you know what, you have a plan. I love the fact you have a plan, right? And I'm going to give you time to execute it. While the woman in the race, not all the time, or sometimes the ones that do give you time to execute your plan, they get criticized by their peers. Like, why you messing with that dude and he don't got his shit together, right? And then when it doesn't work out, they get teased, they get ridiculed, they go through hell. So I see you shaking your head, B. What do you feel about that?
It is true. Oftentimes, if a man, let's say he has where he falls off, you'll have friends who will tell, "Oh, I don't deal with him," or whatever. But I feel like if I'm already accomplished or have achieved things, my tolerance for certain things is going to be a bit different. You can see potential. And I'm not saying you have to settle, but I mean, if a man has come on a rough patch, there's life happens.
What's a rough patch? Like, how long is a rough patch?
I mean, he could have gone to jail. I mean, you don't know. Everybody got a story.
But how long do you really give a man your support for it? So you say, you know what, you really don't got it like that.
It,
Honestly.
it depends. I mean, there are so many factors that go into that. Is he a good, first of all, is he good to you? So even if he's not where he needs to be or wants to be, he can do other things, right? So that's where character really comes into play. That's going to dictate a lot as a man's character. You might be a great man, but just have, either come across a rough patch or not quite figured certain things, really just not found what your life's purpose is yet. And that's okay. If you are a good man and treat me well and bring other things to the table that I need, I mean.
So you're saying you would date a black man because you only been around top echelon black men, but you would date a black man that was part of the have-nots at this current stage of You should have saw your face. Oh,
I mean, it would be I don't need a son. Let's start.
You don't need another son.
I don't need another son.
Everybody says that. I don't want another child. Right. All right.
But I mean, I think again, it just depends on, did he put in work earlier in life? So the education piece to me is really, really important, right? So I could date a man who maybe is going through some things. I mean, I don't know how long I'd give him. I got to see some action, Jackson.
Right. So once again, this is B. She has she has 2 degrees. She actually owns a restaurant as well. She has a job, as she clearly states. She works hard. So and also she's actually beautiful, but and her body is like, when I say hourglass shape, it's an hourglass shape, literally. But she's not showing it out of respect for the viewers and stuff like that. We don't want to shut down the YouTube. With that being said, hold on. Yeah, with that being said, this is a woman that gets most men that she wants. So it's just crazy. I know they're gonna start asking for your IG and stuff to see if I'm lying or not. But
I don't have none of it, right? You know me. I have like 80 followers on Instagram. I've never gotten into that social media shit. Yeah. It's not that.
Her body is crazy, but her mind, her brain is beyond that. She's the one that was telling, yo, King, you need to do more government contracts. This is a woman that could write a business proposal. She could do anything you need her to do. And it's crazy how it's packaged, right? It's just amazing. But once again, she's looking for a serious relationship. So the guys that are interested, come serious. But you saw her face.
I want a husband.
She said, I love Black and Latino men, dark skin Latino men. However, they gotta come with it. Right?
I want a man who can be a partner, right? Who and that means so many different things. You need a man who's rooted spiritually, right? I can, being that I've gone through school a few times, I can help any man spin up a business if you're willing to work hard.
Right. And I seen her do it. I seen her do trucking businesses. I seen her do everything. But once again, don't mind the prettiness. You're not going to see her hourglass shaped body today, ever, unless you go to her page. But focus, this is a woman with 2 degrees. There's a woman that says she prefers Black men and dark skinned Latin men. However, at the end of the day, you got to come correct. And I think that's what Black women are saying. You got to come correct, right? But we as Black men we're dating more UB than the sisters who are on your same level. And there's a reason for that.
But is it just because the rooms that, to your point, is it because the rooms that you're in, because these Black women, their white friends and Latina friends haven't brought them into those rooms? Because I'm big on making sure that all of my close friends, if I'm at a table, that they are sitting with me or they're on their way to the table.
So let me ask you a question. Would a Black man in the room, even though you bring your Black friends into the room, are they still going to choose you over them?
I mean, I think it's at that point, if the woman's in the room, it depends on the man's preference and his experiences. So here's the other thing. If you've had bad interactions, you may choose the white or Latino woman or Asian woman just because of your own, what you're bringing, right? Your own baggage. Like, let's say when you were little, you got dissed by all the girls in the neighborhood. You lived in a Black neighborhood and all the pretty girls, they dissed you. And then you go somewhere and you become the token Black guy at the table. And then all the white girls love you because they're like, oh, I never seen this.
Right.
You become conditioned, right? Because men like who likes them.
Right.
So you become conditioned to feel like, okay, I'm not even going to shoot my shot with this Black woman because Black women always shoot me down. But white women, they're all receptive to me. Or Asian women, they're all receptive to me.
Right. Okay, let's see what Brother Nupsi said. Brother Nupsi says, it boils down to culture. There are 7 cultures, African, Indian, Italian, Asian, etc., where women are taught to cater and look for the right type of men. And it used to be this way in Black culture. In the Black culture, it's no longer that way. I think B said that she said, I was trained to cater to men as a Latina, right? All right, so let's go on. Let's keep on reading. Number 4. Shout out to the West Indian woman, April Carter. I saw what you wrote. April Carter said, as a West Indian woman, we're trained to only cater to men that we're involved with. And that could be tricky because it might be too late, right? Because by the time, that means basically by the time I get with you, by the time I even get your attention or your respect or access to you, I'm going to be tired. I'm like, I had to go through all this just to get the respect you should have been giving me, and the resentment builds up. But let's keep on reading. Number 4, we're more inhibited sexually. Often, Black women have been raised to keep our poise and act like a lady at all times, especially in public and while under pressure. However, Black men tell us that they love the freedom and ability to know their woman can be flexible and go with the flow in certain more spontaneous situations. And that may mean feeling comfortable enough to act out his wildest fantasies, knowing he won't be judged for asking. Wow. So let's really get to the spicy topic today, because you know what's funny? I go through that. And I date white, I date Asian, I date Latina, I date Black. And I have a high level of sexual deviance. And there's certain things I want to happen, and I always get pushback from Black women. Whether it be the threesomes, whether it be the public sexual experiences, whether it be voyeurism, whether it be swap partners, whether it be whatever it might be, whether it be highly aggressive sexual acts, I get pushback. But from white, Asian, and Latina, anything is fair when it comes to love, war, and sex. And I don't know why. And that's not all. We're not saying all. But I do believe Black women are they're not saying they're more ladylike, because I know Asians are super ladylike. Super ladylike. Latinas is funny because I got some Latinas that they don't give a fuck, right? But I just think that Black women are less sexual beings. And when they find someone they open to be sexual with, it's still not at the level. B told me not to say this, but I'm going to say this.
Oh boy.
We as men want a whore. We want a whore that is the most nastiest whore in the world, but she is a classy woman when we're outside with her. We want a woman that the world thinks that is super classy and presentable and graceful, but when she's closed door, when the doors are closed, she's so freaky we feel ashamed to even talk about it. So that's just my opinion. What do you feel?
Oh man, men love whores, 100%. They hate to admit it, right? But they love a good whore. This is the reality of it. And the other thing is too, I'm not saying you have to. You're not.
Are you saying Black women need to be more whorish?
I'm not saying that at all. Actually,
okay.
I'm saying that.
I'm saying that
a woman should be as open sexually as she feels comfortable. What I will say is you could have sex on day 1 or day 101. It's not going to make a difference. And pussy should not be used as a negotiating tool. It's not a very good one. It's too much pussy out here. A man can literally get on the internet and find a woman to have sex with, pay her a couple $100, bust a nut and be good. Pussy is not a negotiating tool. It's just not. And if that's what you're leading with, what's a negotiating tool?
Yeah, what's a negotiating tool?
Being business savvy, right? Being such a prize that like people don't play around with you because they're like, I'm not gonna fuck this up. You know, if you're cooking, you have your business in order. Like a man's not coming with me and playing with me. I'm way past that stage now. But I don't think sex for me is not a negotiating tool. So
let me ask you a question. So would you, when it comes to sexuality, you think Latinas are a little bit more, and white women, because you represent both, they're a little bit more open sexually.
I wouldn't say white women, no. I would say definitely Latinas. It's something like here's what I was taught young, right? You don't never let a man leave the house with an empty stomach and a full set of balls. Because somebody might take care of that. And then you're like, how did this happen? How did that happen?
But is that a lot of pressure? What if a woman says, well, you shouldn't let me leave the house with it? Like, isn't that a lot of pressure for women to handle?
I mean, sex is important. Why would
how important? How important?
For me, it's number 2 on my list: financial security and then sexual compatibility.
Whoa! What about
100%.
Spirituality? What about emotion?
I mean, yeah, that stuff is important, but I gotta make sure your money's right, and we gotta be able to have good sex. If we can't have that, I mean, fuck everything else. I'm serious. Think about it.
Yeah, didn't I tell you she's super smart and intelligent, but she's gonna tell you the truth, whether you like it or not.
If my money wasn't right and I was worried about
Dr. Hood, what's up, baby?
Myself, maybe I would think differently, but I'm good. Like, I'm in a great place personally. I love myself, right? Like, I'm good.
That's a fact.
For me, we have to be able to have good sex. I'm gonna be in a sexless relationship? So you want me to die miserable?
Right. Brother Nusi says black women are freaky as hell. It takes a certain man to breathe that out of them, and that's I want to agree with him, but I also want to give a little pushback. That's my brother right there. Yes, they are, and a certain man has to bring it out of them, but it says something when a woman could just turn it on and off. That is super sexy. Like, it's nothing like what a woman said. I remember I had a Puerto Rican girl. She said I could swallow a whole soda can if you want me to, and that was like whoa, and I was young when she said that, and it was turn off and turn on. And one thing about when I say sexual, every time I date an Asian woman or I dated a Latino woman, I haven't dated too many white women, but I tell you, a white woman the first woman to ever call me God was a white woman. And look at you, rolling your eyes. And
that's a bit much. You're a king. Don't get me wrong. I love you to death, but
right. No, she called me a god.
I don't know what kind of dick you was putting down, but damn.
Well, listen, this is what I'm trying to tell you. But at the end of the day, it was crazy because of that Puerto Rican woman. She made me be mad at me and still have sex with me.
Oh yes.
An Asian woman, we can have if a black woman's mad at me, if I'm dating a black woman, I'm mad at her, there's no sex.
It is not a negotiating tool. It's a terrible woman.
I'm glad you said it like that. Now
it is
elaborate.
Terrible.
Because you're not talking about just relationships, you're talking about day-to-day interaction, right?
Just like, in general, like, pussy is not a negotiate. If that's what you have to negotiate, so now we're pissed off at each other, we're mad,
right.
And now we're not having sex. Mm-hmm. So you just further break down your relationship. Sex enables, like, I mean, I don't know.
You're saying because Asian women and Latino women, when they're mad at me, when we argue, I could still fuck. I could still grab their head and do what I do because that's separate from what's going on.
100%. 100%.
But I can't get mad at people saying I can't have sex if I'm mad at you.
Why? What do you? I mean, what do you? I mean, what you do? What is that bad? That's what I really want to know. How mad? I mean, now there are certain things.
She says, "I'm sorry. I don't care how mad I'm at you. I'm not mad at the dick." She is funny. She is hilarious. But that's right, what. Right. Well, I don't know, but I know what gets a woman not wanting to have sex with you when the bills are not paid.
Let me just say this, because I know a lot of men, they want to live in the gym. Right. These men, I see them all the time, because now I'm finally at a place where I'm actively dating, and you come across these jokers and they want to live in the gym. No woman wants a 6-pack over 6 cars. Let's start there.
Whoa, that's some Jews. Please write that down. But so you're saying you never ever had sex with a broke man before? Because every woman does this. So I'm not trying to hear.
Now, have I? Yes. Would I now? I might have to take a hard pass on that one.
So that's a 20-year-old woman, teenager, young lady.
When you're 20 or 30 and you don't have shit going on, or you're trying to figure out yourself, I could have had some broke dick. 100%. Now, that's gonna be a problem. Not even because I need your money, but because I need you to be okay right now.
Right.
She said, I want both 6 cars and 6 packs.
And Terry could have both. She could have both.
I mean, and that's the thing, you really can, right? But I think that if we talk about priorities, a man could always get in shape. I mean, there's doctors for that.
Right. I don't know, but I do know with all my white, Asian, Latinas, I just feel like they're more open sexually to try new things. It's not an issue. If I pull my thing out, they're either going to suck it or they're going to leave, right?
Oh, that's a good point.
Right. Like, it's not going to be, what are we doing? Nah, you got to earn this. It's not going to be that. It's
such a good point.
It's not, it's one of those things. So let me move on to the next one. This is actually a great conversation. Hold on. Let me go to the next one. So we talked about the sex. I want you to keep that in mind. And we got over that. As she says, we need whores. That's it. In the bedroom, sexually. No inhibition.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Would you be comfortable telling now? Are you comfortable? Do you share that with your friends, your male friends? I want a woman who's a whore. Would you? Here, a better question: would you date a woman who had been a whore?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I really like the type. I don't judge. The only thing is I just don't want you smashing any of my friends. And even then, I'm at the age now. I'm getting to the age where I don't care.
I mean, there's just something you don't want everybody to know what you're.
No, I don't. At the age now, because if at the end of the day, it's like I don't care about someone's past. If you were a whore before 100%. You met me, cool. If you smashed one of my friends years ago, I'm not gonna have a best man scene and get mad.
We're grown.
Right, we're grown, right?
We're grown.
And at the end of the day, maybe, like I said, maybe you a whore both of us, right? But you probably making me money. Oh, yeah, shout out to Michael Thompson. That's this is Tom Brown. Tom Brown frames. You know what I mean? Thank you. Let me go to the next one. I'm not that good with computers. I was before this. I was in the, I wasn't. Anyway, number 5. We want what we want. When it comes to selling, we're usually not the ones. If we've taken the time to work hard, we often want someone with the same drive or better. He better be 6'1" or taller, attractive, have a minimum of a bachelor's degree, God-fearing, and have a passport with travel. And so often we'd rather wait for this man who meets all of our requirements based on our achievements, which is not always in abundance, depending on where we're in the country we live. Is every single item on your list all that important? Maybe or maybe not, but it's something to think about. So with that being said, I don't think first of all, I want to go back to what Brother Noopsy said. He's funny. He says, nah, you're on your own with that one, King. She needs to be a whore for you, but not one in real life. And that's what we differ. Because you would never know what your wife did before you. You would never know.
100%.
You would never know. And then the other thing too, not saying you, Brother Noopsy, I'm just saying general, not you. But also, it's just crazy because me personally, when I date white, Asian, Latino women, it's not a discussion about them telling me what I want. You don't meet the requirements. They just won't talk to me. I think that the issue with the women in my community, in my race, is that they make it be known. Well, you're not this, so fuck you. You're not this. You don't have to say nothing. Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Or what happens is you entertain the ones that don't meet your requirements, and then you give the people that do a
hell. They give you hell.
Go ahead.
No, I see it time and time again. A woman will have these checklists, and then they'll entertain because it passes time, right? They'll entertain what's not that, but then they meet a good man who's educated, who's got everything you could want, and they're like, I'm not going to give my pussy. You know why? Because they want to present an image of perfection.
Wow.
Right? It's right. I'm a good woman and I'm qualified and deserving of you. Right? So I have to present an image, and if I fuck him too fast, then I'm a whore and I'm not good enough to be his wife. Right. Again, what do men want?
I said it. I'm not gonna go back. It's
whore. I mean, Exactly. So what? So.
But what about the requirements? What about the height requirement? What about the money
shit. We
requirement?
all
What about
got
the
that.
degrees?
We all like a tall man.
Right.
But here's what I'm gonna say.
See, will you date a short man?
Ooh, so
that's rich. That's everything. Like, would you date him? That's loving. That's caring.
I'm in the middle of that struggle right now.
For real? Oh shit.
I mean, not short, but like just not my 6 foot height require. You listen, the same way men want some triple D titties and a fat ass. Women want a man that has height.
Wait, wow. Right. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. April Carter says, we are at the ages of these women you speak of. I'm 34. I'm not wasting my energy on entertaining men I don't see anything with. Call me track star because I keep it moving.
She's good. She's good. She knows. Okay, she knows her. Here's the thing with her, right? She knows what her end desired result is.
Right. But the type of men she wants, right? They are the top echelon men, and there's not enough men to go around for women.
I disagree.
There's not enough men. There's not enough men of that stature. There's enough men of that stature to go around.
That bullshit that you men are kicking to us women to make us operate in a scarcity mindset is some bullshit.
Right.
Where are you? What rooms are you in as a woman? The rooms that you put yourself in will dictate everything. And that's where you can't say to me, oh, it's not enough. You know what people will say where I live? They say, oh, there's 9 women for every 1 man. Guess what? The rooms that I'm in, that's not the case.
Right. But those rooms you're in, the men are married.
No, there's a lot of men on their second life. So don't do that. I see what you're doing right now. Don't do the scarcity mind. And here's the thing for any women that are listening right now. Do not let these men produce in you a scarcity mindset. You be a goddamn fool. That's what they want. You know why they want you to operate with a scarcity mindset? So you could be stupid and put up with whatever and settle for whatever.
Okay. So, you say that, right? But it is an issue because, one, maybe it's not a scarcity, but we have a lot of the top men going towards the white, Latin, and Asian counterparts, right?
So as a Black woman or let's see, whatever woman, make sure that your friends, first of all, you got to make sure your friends, if you're not in those rooms, you got to have friends who are. So that means
what if they don't have diverse friends? What if they don't have diverse friends like you?
You better get some. It'll save your life. You have to, I'll give a really quick example. So I was selling my house. I have a real estate license in addition to all the other shit. I was selling my house and I have my best friend.
Well, you licensed to do it in New York or no?
No, in Massachusetts, right? So I was selling my house and I had my real estate license and I had it for some time because I was interested in real estate. It was just some shit to do for me, quite frankly. So anyway, so I told my girlfriend, I said, get your real estate license. She's a Black woman. Get your real estate license. I will have you sell my house. Now, I could have saved myself 20 or it was like almost $30,000 on just her side of the commission.
Right.
No, I didn't sell the house myself. I took another realtor off when she got her license. I canceled that contract. I put her on the contract and it was her first deal.
Wow, that's dope.
You have to have friends. I'm a Latina, sure. I identify as Latina more than anything.
Latina and white.
I always put my Black and Latino people in position. When I'm in a room, I'm taking somebody with me. And if you don't have friends like that, that's the real problem.
Nahar says, woman, you are bugging. He's referring to you, B. He says, men control the access to relationships and women control access to sex.
Access to relationships, how? I don't
because we're the one, they say, because we're the ones decide if we're going to get married or not. You're not going to propose to me.
Oh, 100%. But here's the thing. I get to decide. A man could, you know what? So I was involved with somebody for an extended period of time. And I finally said to that man, all right, so is this progressing?
Before you say anything, everybody's saying that was solid. Bring your friend into the business. Everybody's saying that was dope. You
have to have the people around you. If I tell you I love you as one of my homegirls or whatever, if my actions aren't reflective of that, if I'm sitting at tables and you aren't invited, I have an event. I'm on a board for a university.
Don't say the names.
No. Right?
Because it's a very ghetto show. We have a ghetto show.
It's fine. Anyway, so this graduation season, and it's in a city where I don't even live. But guess what? My plus one It's gonna be one of my girlfriends.
All
Why?
right. Now, all right. Let's get back to the issue. He said women have access to sex, control access to sex, but not access to marriages and relationships.
You control how long a man gets to waste your time. It's a call to action. My call to action is
shout out to Mr. Real Estate. Sorry to cut you. Shout out to Mr. Real Estate, Mr. Magnificent, the fastest growing YouTube page in the world. Please, big shout out to him. I wish he was on here with us right now. He would definitely love your company. Shout out to him. Please go and support his page, but he probably don't need his support because he's already at 2,000 subscribers in 7 weeks. He's not playing. I thought I was going fast, but he's going super, super fast. Shout out to Mr. Real Estate. That was good. I like your response to that. Women control how long a man wastes their time.
And you can't be so emotionally. Okay, so I had sex with a man.
She said, "Preach be."
If you have sex with a man and he's not, you're 6 months in, a year in, and he's not, your end game is marriage, and it's not approaching that. Let it go. Who gives a shit? Your pussy rejuvenates.
She's crazy. Let me ask you a question. I believe that when I date white, Latin, and Asian women, I'm able to have sex without commitment. And I can leave the relationship without it being confrontational. When I have sex with a black woman, for the most part, it always becomes confrontation. It's like you just having sex with me. As for Latina women, the ones I date Latina, it's funny. The ones that don't have a man or don't have a husband, we have sex and it's fun. Ones that are single, it becomes confrontational. When I deal with Asian women, when it comes to sex, we can have sex and it's cool, as long as we keep it on the low and it's an understanding. When it comes to white women, as long as we keep it on the low and there's an understanding. But with black women, to have casual sex could get very confrontational. The Latina woman, it can appear to be confrontational, but it's really not, because they always have a man anyway. Deep inside, you always got a fucking man anyway. Take a drink. Let's take cheers to that. This guy. Cheers to that. How do you feel about that?
So you're saying that you don't like when a woman, she gives you access to her body and she holds you accountable, you have an issue with that? She's now confrontational?
Don't twist the words. You're good.
I'm curious, like, because that's what that sounds like.
I'm talking. You know me. You know me for over a decade.
It's been a long time. I done seen a lot.
You saw all my transitions, a lot of my but it's about, I tell you what I want, I tell you who I am, and it's up to you. Do what you want to do with that. So if I don't want a relationship with you, I'm going to tell them a relationship. If I want a relationship, I'm going to have a relationship. But I also tell this woman, I say, you know what? I like you a lot, but I'm not there mentally.
That right there. When a man speaks, you listen.
Right.
Too many women, we don't listen. We shape our own narrative. I got amazing pussy. I'm so great. I'm so beautiful. So now I know the mistake that women make is thinking you're going to be the one to change him. Right. No. Men are very clear on what they intend to do with you quickly.
Right. But women are too. Don't act like y'all just don't want to have fun.
I mean, it depends where you're at.
But you're saying you don't, right now, your state, right now, you want to have fun and still be able to get a husband too. I think women are capable of having fun and also still searching for their husband.
110%. I could entertain you all day while I'm interviewing the next one.
Right. I think I feel like I was a side piece at one point.
To all the beautiful women that you've had, I'm sure.
I wish. Mm-hmm. I wish. All right, let's go. Number 6. Our friendliness is often misunderstood. If we do say hello to a man, sometimes they automatically assume we want a romantic relationship with him. Whereas if a woman of another ethnicity says a random hello, wants to network, or plays a dance in the stress role, he often feels less threatened and more willing to share. It's really more their problem than ours. But unfortunately, we often appear desperate to men when we are being friendly, because there's an assumption that we're always on the hunt for a husband. It's sad, but true in their eyes. Okay, let's let me break this down. And you could probably teach women something, right now. Women that don't. How do you appear? Give us an example of how a woman can be friendly without being thirsty. Ooh.
I mean, a simple hello, right? And engaging in
Without being
conversation.
thirsty.
And thirsty? What is thirsty? I'm curious.
Okay, you see a whole bunch of men in the room that are handsome, that are elegant, that are qualified. How do you put yourself out there without being a pick-me? You know that term. The term is called pick-me.
I mean, here's the thing. You got to be in enough of those rooms where that's your norm. When women come off as pick-me, it's because it's funny because men are saying, oh, there's not a lot of men. I don't know where y'all are at, but let me tell you something. The rooms that I'm in, there's a lot of single men. So if you live with a mindset of abundance, you're never a pick-me. In fact, you don't even, first of all, it's not about you picking me. It's about me making sure, do I want you to pick me?
Right.
I'm always going to let a man lead. However, it's not every man that I'm
Nika says right because it's internal. She says because it's internal.
100%.
April Carter says because they're not used to that type of environment, so they're going to come across as being desert thirsty.
That's right, because they get in a room and it's like anything, right? If you're starving, let's make it real, right? You hungry. You haven't had a meal in however long. And then all of a sudden you get a steak and some lobster and this and that. You're like, oh my God, I want all of this. No.
They said, Mr. Wilson says, keep it a buck. How many women thought they could change you? You think you could change me, B?
I don't think so a man is not changed by a woman. A man is changed by his desire to be with that woman.
Say that again. Say that for everybody in the back.
100%. A man is changed. Say it again. A man knows what he intends to do with you. Right. It is on you not to be stupid enough to, let me sit around and let him play with me. I mean, if that's what you want to do, because you think, I'm so great. I know women that have gone to Harvard, right? And they think, oh, I'm so wonderful. Your SAT might have denoted you as wonderful, but really, like, it's the man that you choose. He's going to know. Now, let me ask you this. Do you feel like men bucket women quickly? Because I feel like a man within like so much time, maybe it's an hour or two or a week or a month of meeting you, knows what he intends to do with you.
I believe so, especially at my age, at 42. But what I want to say is that women, white, Asian, and Latino women that I dealt with, they're easier to give me a compliment.
Ah, that's a good point.
Black women don't do it because you know this is what I get. This is what I get from a white woman. Wow, you're handsome. From an Asian woman, I love the way that looks on you. From a Latina woman, you know what? You're kind of sexy. I'm feeling you. From a black woman, oh, you get all the fucking bitches, don't you?
So what you're saying?
That's crazy. Like,
hold on, wait. You gotta share that, right? The importance of giving men compliments. Women, we expect it. Men also too men need to be showered in compliments.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You as a white Latino white woman, you give compliments. Even to your male friend. I'm your friend.
100%. I'm like, you look so good.
Me and you never did nothing. We never nothing at all.
I wasn't qualified.
I'm underqualified.
I gotta mess with him now.
Listen, but you always give me compliments. You feel me?
I have for the longest time. Why? Because I recognize your potential, regardless of where you're at, right. And I wanna give you your flowers while you're alive. That's more of a. I will say this. That's not even a racial thing. That's a. Are you?
So Mr. Real Estate wants to say something. He says, "I must." First of all, Mr. Real Estate, she is bad. If you see her, she got an hour-shaped body, glass body. It's crazy. That's like my sister, but I don't look at her like that. She roll her eyes. I must say, no offense, that masculine New York accent on women is a turn off for me, being a West Coast guy. But B has an interesting flavor. It's like 20% New York accent, rest is something else. Well, she has a New York aggression and assertiveness, but she's not from New York.
Definitely not.
She's not from New York. and she definitely hates the Yankees. We're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna leave it at that. But she's not from New York. What else? Let's see what you mean. Tell me no, but yes. First of all, King. First of all, April. April was an exception. April actually is one of the few black women that I know that willingly gives me compliments and stuff. So I want to apologize. And Nitra, I want to say thank you for that. They really do give, and sometimes I'm not even ready for that. And they come from a platonic standpoint. They don't come from like trying to get at me or me getting at them. So I want to give a shout out to April Carter.
And that, you know what that goes to? Again, think about this for a second.
Is it a cultural thing? Brother Noopsy, you've been quiet, Brother Noopsy, because one, you can't front. Black women don't give out compliments like other races to black men. That's a fact. Especially in college.
Wait. Look at this: feminine energy versus masculine energy.
Right.
What is feminine energy to men? Talk to me. Tell me now. We know we can't have the ladies talking and taking. We need the man's insight. That's why everybody's here. They want to know what qualified men think.
You're feminine. You have a feminine energy, but I see you do business there, so I know you can be assertive. But
you have to be able to take a back seat to a man. Here's the thing: I'm not walking around with a chip on my shoulder, right? So I feel good about myself. So I can I am here's what I will say. Men, y'all should listen to this. A woman wants nothing more. Well, I shouldn't say a woman. I would say myself. I want nothing more than to be able to be submissive and trust that you will lead us in the right direction. However, I'll be the backbone that you start to deviate.
Right.
We're gonna get you right.
We're gonna get you right. But here's what's funny, because not any man can lead you. So you can say, so tell them that part.
No, you can't be led by a fool.
But
here's the thing. Think about yourself, right? I desire a man who has gone through the educational process. Why? Because it shows me that he's able to commit to himself above all else.
Right.
Understand me?
Right.
There's a difference. A lot of men can't even commit to themselves. How am I going to expect a man who can't commit to himself to commit to me?
Oof.
Same thing for a woman. How will you expect a woman to commit to you who has not committed to her own development and growth?
Wow.
I didn't get two master's degrees because I liked it. I did it because I was committed to myself.
Wow. All right. Let's get to the last one, the 7th point. All right. You did really good. You're dope. Great conversation. Ready? Number 7. We put the pressure on. We heard black men say that they feel that with other women is a kind of just go with the flow situation as relationship progresses, right? There's not as much pressure on him to marry until he's ready. But often they feel black women are focused on marriage from the start, as we should be. Yet another example of something we often judge for that is actually not a negative dating quality. All right, let me say one thing. I have been on several dates with black women, and the first thing, are you trying to get married?
Marriage minded.
Yeah, are you marriage minded? Why don't you marry? You're 42. What's going on? Do you want to get married? Why don't you have kids? I thought me saying I don't have kids and being 42 is because I'm waiting for marriage, which should be respected, right?
Means you're responsible.
Even though I go raw dog all the time.
This guy. Yeah, ignore him. Ignore that. That's terrible. Don't tell people that. What's wrong with you?
I'm very selective about who I go with. Right.
This guy.
Right. But that's how I put my little spell on women. The other thing is, I feel like when I'm dating outside my race, it's more so for a good time. Like, we're in the moment. We're not. When I'm talking to a white, Asian, Latina girl, for the most part, I'm not looking at her talking to her, and I see her planning our wedding or how she's going to introduce me to her family. I don't see it. I see we're in the moment. We're having a date. We're going to the play. That's what I see. So do you agree? It seems like they say white, Latin, Asian will go with the flow.
So the reason that I don't set definitives when I meet you is because why the fuck would I give you a playbook on how to navigate me?
Woof.
Why the fuck would I tell you that my end game is X, Y, and Z? So you could just play to that? So you're gonna do all you're gonna do is what? You're gonna be like, okay, I know she wants marriage, so at X, Y, and Z point, I'm gonna give her this. No. I don't want what you do for me or with me to be driven by my lead. I'm a woman, I don't want to lead. I'm gonna let you lead as a man. And as soon as your bullshit doesn't align with what I want, I'm kicking that ass out the door.
So
And it's a next.
So that's not a cultural thing, though. It's not.
I mean,
Is it?
that's got to be a common sense thing for all of
Right.
us women. If a man knows what he wants.
So
to
I'm saying,
do.
as a white Latino woman, do you feel like you make it easier for a man to just date you?
100%. I don't put out expectations from day one. I don't need to tell you what I expect. I have to observe what you do. Now I'll say this. I come with 100%. I know people say reserve, cooking, and this and that. What?
No, see, that's a problem. You cook.
Why am I reserving? I'm not reserving shit. I'm coming with 100%. Right. And what you do with that tells me how deserving you are for that to continue. It's like a job. You go into a job, you make, I don't know, $250 a year. They're like, here's your salary. They don't say to you, well, if you know what, we're gonna start you at 60, and at every increment where you prove yourself. That's that whole pussy game and all that. Right. It's I will show you in increments. I'm not doing increments. I'm coming full.
Oh, so they piecemeal. Your piecemeal. If you meet deliverables, they piecemeal it basically.
I'm not doing like. Why would you ever? I'm not putting myself through that misery. So now I'm hanging out with you, and I'm sexually frustrated, right. And I'm hanging out with you, and I'm, oh God, like I don't have time for that.
Right.
And neither do men, and this is why men lose interest in women.
Right. Listen, we're gonna go quickly through a bunch of charts and graphs right now. And then after that, we're going to have our closing remarks. But we're going to go through these. And this is a chart that was made in 2019 in regards to Black, White, Latina, East Asian, and I believe Southern Asian people in colleges and how they view relationships, love, marriage, and dating. And we're going to analyze it real quick. And so this first one, hold on. Oh, boy, I'm skipping. The first one deals with the percent of who want to marry someday by race. As you can see, the pink is the female, the blue is the male, and it shows if you look that white, Black, Latin, East Asian, South Asian, they all wanted to get married someday. Everybody leaving college. This is done when they were in college, right? So a lot of things don't change. As you can see, the same thing. Percent of who wanted children someday. A majority of them all wanted children someday, whether it was white, Black, Latinx race, East Asian, and South Asian. Male and females at some point wanted kids. This study was done in college, right? Let's keep going. Next one is average ideal age to marry. The average ideal age to marry, as we can see, they all agreed, they all had a similar average ideal age to marry. Whether it be within their 20s or their 30s, they all had an ideal age in their mind. In their mind, they said, I want to get married at a certain age. All right. But we know, B.
It's a mistake.
It's a mistake. Hey, that's a different show. We get on that later.
That's fine.
All right. Next one. Average ideal age to have their first child. In their mind, they believe they want a child at a certain age. Everybody has it. Me, I don't even want a child at a certain. I want to be married first. I want to
Latinos lying. That shit need to be like an 18.
You're so funny. No, that's the percentage, not the.
Oh, okay. Age. I thought that was like the 8. Oh, yeah, okay. No, I'm like,
okay. Yeah.
You are taught young to reproduce.
You're so funny. You are so funny. Percent less interested in people who hook up frequently. This is a percentage of people less interested in people who hook up frequently. So you see, they don't like people that actually are like me, that hook up with people. They didn't like that. In college, that's what they thought. But they immature. When they get older, they realize it doesn't matter. Let's keep going. Percent who believe sex requires love by race and sex. Sex requires love. Now, this is when everybody started having different viewpoints. See, everything before this particular issue, everybody had similar viewpoints. So it shows that white females believe sex requires love more than the white male counterparts. It also shows that Black females believe that sex requires love more than their Black male counterparts. And it seems like through every race or every sex, the females require love for sex.
And here's what I say to that.
Do you need love for sex?
You can't come off of somebody you don't love? I mean, I'm just asking.
Hold on. Can you have sex with someone you don't love? Can you have You have great sex with someone you don't love.
And you can't have great sex. Great sex requires an emotional connection. It
Right.
doesn't require love, it requires an emotional connection. There's a difference.
Okay.
Love is different than an emotional connection.
Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I ain't gonna front. Let me say one thing. I like if the sex is good enough, I might fall in love. All right. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh, the next one. Percent who believe premarital sex is wrong. It seems that the same amount of white male and white females are equal in regards to if they think premarital sex is wrong. More black females believe that premarital sex is wrong in comparison to black males, and in Latinx race, it's just a little bit different. Females think it's wrong, and when it comes to East Asian, it's equal. And when it comes to Southern Asians, they believe that females believe premarital sex is wrong. So that's a cultural thing. Next on the chart, we have percent who have never had intercourse. Wow. Wow.
Is this really a thing? I just have to ask.
No. This was done in college.
Oh,
This thing was done in
okay.
college. So 20% have never had intercourse. It seems like in college, black females are not having as much intercourse as the black males. And Latinx, the females, the same thing. But when you go to the East Asian culture, it's the males that are not having that sex. And the Southern Asian culture, you have the males. Once again, the males are not having sex as well. That is fucking crazy. I would have never thought that. I would have never thought that. Let's keep going. Medium number of hookups since start of college by race and sex. It seems like it seems like the white females and black males have the most hookups. This is what we talk about. When I talk about white women are less sexually, they're more sexual. Oh wow! I don't know.
I need more wine for this.
Wow!
Look at you guys. Look at men. Here's the thing: whenever a woman thinks that men don't desire whores, look at this graph. Men love a good whore.
You're so funny.
Look at it. It's data. I speak from a science-driven place.
You are funny. You are hilarious. Let me get out of here before we get in. Let me change the chart. Percent who have ever had sex outside of an exclusive relationship. Wow. White women are leading in that. Did I tell you my Latin girls would fuck you if they have a man? The white Latin women are having sex outside of an exclusive relationship more than Latin men. I'm sorry. I take that back. Sorry, Latin women. But it seems like the male counterparts have been having sex out of exclusive relationships. Women don't have as much sex out of exclusive relationships unless they don't get caught. Unless they don't get caught. We don't know.
He said if they don't get caught. What's wrong with you?
They don't get caught. Last chart, I believe, median number of intercourse partners. Wow. Black men are leading.
Shocker.
Second is Latin males. Third is white males. Within the females, though, you can see that white women are leading black women and are leading Latin women. I always thought Latin women were more sexual, but maybe in college it's not the same. Because that's the ones that made it without being pregnant.
Why they gotta be pregnant while they make it?
I know. I was just trying to be spicy.
Don't do that. Don't be spicy like that.
Spicy.
Don't be funny.
All right. Next one. Percent who want to marry someday. But first of all, that last joke, I'm not spicy like that. I really do. Everybody knows I love Latin women, so don't play with my peoples.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about this once or twice.
Yeah, I love Latin women. Hold on. That's it. And Asian women. Median number of intercourse partners, we did that already. Sorry, it skipped. Okay, that was it. So we done with that. And it's funny because
before you do any of this,
right.
What is the community wants to know?
Right.
What is your view? What's your checklist? Because here's the thing.
Right.
You're the target.
Right.
Not to put a big red dot on you, but you're the target. Talk to us about what do you require? What are things that are deal breakers? Should women leverage coochie? What should women do to navigate a man that looks like you?
Me personally, I just want a woman that gives me peace. That's number one. I want peace, but I'm a man, so I'm a visual. She gotta look a certain way. She gotta maintain herself, right?
Okay, so for you, number one, ladies, the requirement is the
Visual.
aesthetics. How do you
Visual.
look?
Visual.
And what is that? So break that down for us.
It depends, because I love all types of women. So you can't, because I love multiple women at the same time. I don't know if I could be with one woman, right? So I love a woman that I could love a woman that doesn't have breasts to a woman that have triple D's. I don't know.
This
so
guy.
Yeah, so that's me. I could love a woman that is shaped like a runner, and I could love a woman like you who is like what, 42, 24, 42, right?
Something like that.
Something like that. So that's me. But also, and I told you this, and I want to say, because I said I wasn't going to talk about this.
Talk about it. I mean, you got to capitalize.
Yeah, we're going to end the show about this too, because it's getting late. But I said, as I became mature, and I hate to say this, and I think you said it better, it's the rooms that you're in. And the rooms that I tend to go in sometimes, the places I go to do business or have do social events that lead to networking in business. When I walk in with a petite white woman or a Asian woman or a Spanish woman that looks white, it makes my potential business partners feel comfortable doing business with me.
And he said this, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Right. That's she crazy.
No. I feel.
But let me finish. Let me finish.
But okay, go ahead.
Let me finish. And I said
because that's your next podcast right there.
Yeah. That's the next one. Hopefully you come back for that one. But I feel like when I go into certain rooms, when I say I'm from Columbia or BC, they're like, that's cool, right? But when I walk in aesthetically, right, and I have somebody from another race with me, those people who have access to power feel comfortable, who typically wouldn't deal with someone like me.
So the table for you opens up.
No, hold on.
Okay.
They don't feel comfortable with me. And then when I do bring a black woman to the room, she has to have her shit together. Like she gotta speak the language, she gotta have her degrees up, she gotta have this and this. But I could bring an Asian white chick or Latin chick that looks white, that doesn't have their shit together, but based on their parents, people feel comfortable with me, that I'm doing business with. And it's not right, but that's what it is, right? But me, personally, what I like is I want them to look good. I want them to have a peace of mind. But I also really want them to be a whore, right? I want them to be a whore. And I also want to be able to bounce back ideas with them. So look good, at peace with themselves, or still trying to deal with their trauma, like actually going to seek the work for their trauma, a whore. And the last thing at all, bounce off ideas. She has resource to bounce off ideas with me. And so what do you think?
I think it's interesting that men have a check. Now, okay, so if you meet a woman and she can't quite fit into that whole checklist, what do you do? So, and this is for the ladies to listen.
It's called friendship for me.
Oh, you friend zone a bitch.
You call friendship, or we just don't deal. Like right now, I don't deal with too many women. So it's called friendship. So
the lesson here is that if a woman doesn't meet your checklist,
right,
you friend zone her.
Or I don't say anything to her. She's not in the friend zone.
But right. What is friend zoning a woman to you? What does that mean?
Well, like you said it best. If you don't have certain type of friends, you better go and get them. So I'm not dating any woman that's not going to put me in position or increase my network. I made most of my deals because a powerful woman hooked me up with a powerful man. Women give you credibility in certain realms. And that's why, if you don't understand, like even in the streets, you could say that girl's a whore, but that whore fucks with another get money dude. And that whore is going to tell, that whore that you calling a whore is going to say, yo, you could trust him. He get money too.
That's right. So
I don't get it. A whore could fuck a businessman and tell that businessman, you know what? He's a whore because he pays me the same amount he pays you. He got money. And the guy's like, for real? You could do business with him.
Y'all should do business together.
That's a fact. It's those girls that made me money, not the girls that the goody two shoes. Know why? Because you're in the house. None of these dudes know you.
So wait. So the moral of the story is what? A goody two shoes, a woman that withholds pussy.
I didn't say that. You said
no.
That.
I'm asking you.
No.
So a woman that withholds pussy, what do y'all do with her? I'm asking. I'm asking a question to all, and
Me,
the
it
men.
depends. Some
The
people
men
don't,
could comment, but I'm
some people
asking
don't,
you too.
yeah, some people don't care, but I know what we do is we still pursue you, and then when we get the pussy, we out.
Oh, you hear that, ladies? You hear that?
Yeah.
All that withholding pussy. All you do is create an insurmountable task that he's like, I'm gonna scale this mountain, and when I do, I'm the fuck out. That's terrible. Because they wonder why. Okay, I dated him for 6 months. I didn't have sex, and
Right.
then all of a sudden we had sex, and it was great, but he left me alone. Oh my god, y'all
Right.
hear this? And
Yep.
April said it. Kings out here ghosting bitches.
Yeah, you're funny.
Let me.
Listen, with that being said, I want to thank you, B, for coming and dropping your jewels. The top 3 things I learned from B today was, ladies, this was the jewels. She said it's all about location. Where or what rooms do you have access to? Because you have the right.
100%.
If you have access to the right rooms, it won't be a shortage of
There's no
qualified men.
scarcity.
Right.
No scarcity over here. Y'all
Number,
come with me.
number two, she said, which I love the most. I have black friends, and I put them in position. If you want to get into these rooms, you need to make friends. You need to explore outside of your community to be in these rooms, especially if you're looking for a certain type of black men. Because these top echelon black men are in these boardrooms with, and they're looking for you.
And there's
right?
so many of them. Wait, can we just pause there? To all the black women in the room, I love y'all. I am a Latina that is all about uplifting.
Don't say white. You keep on your white part.
Oh
white
God!
too.
All right. So yes, a Latina and white woman who is all about, but just in general, I'm about uplifting other women. So here's my thing: make sure that your friends put you in positions of power and to win.
Right.
To
and the
King's point.
And the third thing I got from her, which was something I love, was thank you, brother Noopsy. It was dope because B was here. The third thing I got was, don't be afraid to be sexually open.
No, and for the men though too, don't be afraid to put your best foot forward. Honestly, like every woman that you meet, put your best foot forward. Plan dates, be thoughtful, be considerate. You might have to kiss a lot of whack bitches before you find somebody that's truly qualified, and that's fine. Equate all of that to a learning experience. All of us, that's for all of us that are dating in our 40s or whatever. Don't walk around with a chip on your shoulder. Come, show up as your best self, put forth 100% every time, and hope for the best. If nothing else, optimism has to lead.
Jules, listen, on that note, we have to go. I want to thank you, B, for coming. I wish you could stand up so they could see what you're working with, but probably.
You want me
to? It dropped.
I mean,
the camera dropped.
This guy, he's not gonna let up. No, he refused to let up.
You lucky the camera dropped. They lucky.
I mean,
wow.
Wait, I'll move it back
because
you're not gonna let up. Because he's like, let me show them that she's qualified.
Because they think I'm joking.
He's like, oh, they think she's playing.
Yeah, you gotta move back a little bit.
I mean, all right, let me take this off.
I don't think they can. Can you move back a little bit? Oh, and the camera got moved to the left. Wow. Listen, I gotta go, fellas. She's amazing. I want to say thank you, and I truly do love you. Thank you so much. You are amazing, and hopefully, hopefully become a regular. Every Sunday we could do a little show together, and I appreciate you. Anyway, take care. Peace, everybody.
Bye, guys.